Hi, Doug Franklin here in the LeaderTreks office. I want to talk to you today a little bit about mission trips. You know, when we take students on a missions trip, it's a really positive experience. But how do you make that experience transformational in their life? Now, we've been running trips around here since 1994, for 17 years. We've thought a lot about trips, and we've thought about how do we make them unique and different, and how do we really make them transformational. Our goal is not to take a whole bunch of students on a trip. Our goal is to see that the trip is transformational in the life of each student who goes with LeaderTreks. And so to that end, we don't focus on location or price. Those are the two things that everybody else seems to want to talk about when it comes to a mission trip, location and price. But when you're considering a mission trip for your students, I want you to consider 5 differences that make LeaderTreks really unique. The first difference is this: we only allow one group at a time on a mission site. And so when you go on a trip with us, there won't be any other group from any other church there. It'll just be your group. And we're going to limit the size to 15 to 25 students. And our staff are going to dig into the life of your students. I promise you that. Our staff will know your student's name before they arrive. And while your students are there, they'll spend tons of time asking questions. In fact, I bet you they'll ask your students over 100 questions about their life as they try to discover them and try to help them apply the experience they're going through to their life. This really makes transformation happen. Another thing that's really unique about us is that our staff are full-time. Almost all of our staff are full-time people that are spending their whole life focusing on developing and running mission trips. In fact, our staff receive 27 weeks of training before they run your student's trip. And that makes a huge difference. You know, they're not college kids with 1 week of training. They're real-time professional people that do this all the time, and they're going to get deep into the life of your student. The third thing that's really unique about LeaderTreks is this: real work and real ministry. We're going to spend, of the fee that you give LeaderTreks, we're going to spend $100 on that fee on the work project if it's a domestic work site. If it's an international work site, we're going to spend $300. Ask any organization how much money they spend, and you'll see that there's a real difference here. And when we spend that kind of money, what do you think that means for the work experience for your students? They're going to have a great work experience. Also, too, is the sites that we serve on, we've been there long term. LeaderTreks has never been asked to leave a site ever in our 17 years. In fact, our very first site, Pawleys Island, we still serve there today. In our second site, Dominican Republic, we still serve there today. And our third site, I can go on and on and on. We're there for the long haul, and we have great partnerships. The fourth unique thing about LeaderTreks that you really need to know about is our student leadership program. This is the heart of what we do. On our trips, your students will make the decisions. We'll use mealtime, we'll use downtime, we'll use every aspect of the trip to develop your students as leaders. They'll be the ones that stand on the work site and make the decisions. They'll be the ones that lead the VBS or Backyard Bible Club or whatever ministry we'll do. Your students will learn from their mistakes, they'll learn from their successes, and they will have a uniquely different experience when they run the trip. You're going to find that when your students lead, everything changes, and it's all positive. The fifth thing that's really unique and different about LeaderTreks is our intentional spiritual program. First thing we do in the morning is 45 minutes of quiet time, and we're going to give your students a trip book that has Bible study methods in it, that has prayer journal in it, that has a growth journal in it, that has all of these different tools that they can use to enhance their spiritual life. Listen, on our trips, there's no speaker talking from the front asking for an emotional response with a band. I mean, that's great, but that doesn't really grow students spiritually. On our trips, they'll spend 2 hours every evening going through their Bible study, teaching one another what they've learned. They'll focus on praise and worship, but it'll be a corporate praise and worship where they're together worshiping God. They'll look at their growth journal and they'll make applications. They'll evaluate their day and what they need to do to grow and improve tomorrow. They'll set goals that will challenge them. And I promise you, they'll be challenged and they'll be pushed. And when you're challenged and pushed, you grow. And when you're comfortable, you stay the same. And so in LeaderTreks, it's all about challenge for us in our intentional spiritual program. We're going to challenge them to really grow deep with God. There's a lot of unique things about LeaderTreks. These are just 5, but let me tell you how it's lived out in our return rate. Customers or partners that return with us year after year, our number has never gone below 80%. In fact, most years, our number is above 90%. 90% return rate. What does that tell you? It tells you that our programs are transformational and that they work. I encourage you to check out LeaderTreks. Give us a call. Let us talk it through with you. You can't sign up online here. Here you're going to talk to us. You're going to get to know us, and we're going to get to know your needs. And we're going to put together a program and a trip that is going to be transformational in your students' lives. Check out the LeaderTreks Difference. I am going to guarantee you that you're going to find that it's going to be a great experience for your students.